yard. Which one's that? The same man that did one of the singers work.
Just a second.
We got nothing coming your way, except the war train, and it's turning around, so.
There. I ran.
They say we're going through East Yard. East Yard, Stafford? East Yard?
Yeah, I'll tell you what you want.
We're bringing the war train through East Yard. Is that okay? Okay. Hang on just a minute.
I'm going through spring.
Should pick it up. There you go. Got it. Okay, go a little further.
information I'll get for you.
Hold it.
Yeah, let's see it.
Same spot again. Go ahead and fix it for us, please. Yes, sir. Did you get a runaround for me? Okay, we're coming through.
Thank you.
You're clear, Ralph. Should be able to get through. This baby.
Yeah.
Well, now that I got my garden railroad complete, I can.
I mean, there's a railroad that's complete.
Yeah, road's good. Yeah, we got.
Well, all the equipment ran beautiful
Did
today.
it? Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not back around, he's taking some pictures there. Oh, okay.
You can just tie it up there, Ralph.
Yeah. Gonna be leaving now.
I know everybody.
Okay, is it making you want to like get a whole bunch of military models?
Didn't you come in or something? Oh, and stuff.
PC,
He said he was
essential to mating worms.
Yeah.
That's right, he did say this.
Yes, yeah.
Pictures, there's some Colorado stuff in here from my last trip out. You can see where you guys are going to be heading. That's about it. So, wow. We're in, this was the railroad days in Denver, California. Some of you probably remember I showed photos from this last time. The E unit here came from Sacramento Railroad Museum, and then UP sent out the E units from Cheyenne. Place for some night photography.
How many seconds is that?
This was about 30 seconds.
Wow.
With my lens, I think I had it stopped down to an f11. This was the new camera. This is the big one, this lens flares.
Yeah.
You get a lot of this flaring here. It can be kind of neat, but this one here isn't so cool. Not much you can do about it. Let me ask you guys a question. If you're going to take a photo here and you had the ability to set your shutter speed, what would you meter off of?
Ballast.
Ballast, that's right. You saw last year's thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know why this thing's down here. I think they were leasing some Canadian Pacific power or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
They don't use a blazer.
That must be effective.
They actually came up with this idea. They have a couple of these.
Put little flashing lights on.
You got the spots here. I have a photo, an older photo that actually does have a red beacon on the top of it.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why. It's gone now, so maybe somebody figured out it's kind of a stupid idea.
You know how fast you were running that train?
I guess they have down along the Mexican border where they run a lot of their animal trees. They used to have people that hop on. This is part of Tennessee Pass. This is south of Leadville. You guys are going up this way.
Look at that sort of road.
Yeah, you gotta love the power wash up here.
They take them.
You're about 2,000 feet above the tree line, so it's nothing but rock. It's kind of eerie. Yeah, in October. It was chilly up here. It was jacket weather, and it was 85 degrees on the. It's a very odd car. Proof that the prototype kit dash is working. This would be a real simple model too. The FP59.
Does anybody make a model of that?
Nobody makes a model of this. Overland, I think, has done them or is going to do them. But,
Doesn't the Marlboro train have?
yeah, the Marlboro train is being used too. Seattle is also getting a few. The state of Washington is fine. I think they have one of the mud missiles. This is actually one of the new ones. It's number
that P42?
One of the P42s.
I got a picture of that. That was really
They're running a pair of these on the Starlight now. Another switcher with dynamic brakes. This one's a little more obvious though. It's like a tuner up there, you should check out. Unfortunately, we went out to chase the train right after this and it started raining incredibly hard, so I don't really have any photos. Yeah, it is in Washington. So.
What do you use?
Yeah, Pucko H660. There's only two or three of these left in the country.
Is the one with the Khaled on it?
I don't know.
Where is this?
This is Longview, which is north of Portland, Vancouver. Anyone
That's
wondering?
odd. Black joke.
Yeah, it's a...
Amtrak doesn't have to have switchers. This is the Seattle switcher. At the time it was dead. It had it parked over here. They actually have two in Seattle, and both of them were not operating. So on these units it doesn't look very good, but on the standard cab units it looks very nice.
Something locked in with makeup.
You know who designed this?
Model Power.
Uh, no, actually one of the guys at Model Railroad.
Okay, a little short intro here. Of course, you all know my name, and this is the Layout on a Shoestring Budget Clinic, which on and off has been running in the hot box for about the last 3, 4, 5 years, going back to the Phil Michael editing days. I got some examples here if anybody would like to look at them. Now, I'm just going to pretend this is a little country road here, and most of those have the little white edge lines to try and keep yourself from going off the road. Or at least attempt to. Yeah.
And everything else. Crossing gates.
This would be your basic road striping. Now from there you can do all kinds of things. You can put the little school lines that'll go across here, little railroad warnings. You can go from there and make the stop lines that'll commonly run across. You got turn lanes, you know, sky's the limit, depending on the width and where the road is. Sure. And some very tiny brick sheeting. This stuff best shows like the grading on the roads. Unless you really look at it, you can't really tell it's even brick. It just looks like a regular sewer grading. And normally most manholes are towards the center, but you can pretty much go off with that. I've seen them all over the place. Just cut a hole right through the street. That would be our hole, manhole. And then we'll take some of this brick sheeting and using the permanent marker, which I found also another very versatile tool. In places where you can't use black paint, this marker works really well. Once that sets, you may want to take time too to get some chalks. You can weather this, rust it out a little bit. We have our actual manhole cover, and then you just very carefully press it into the street. And don't worry if it doesn't go completely level. I've seen manholes that halfway down to the street. Nice little urban adventure. So, and we have our manhole. So just start with a little center line running down here. And then from there, it kind of goes in an offset brick pattern going down the street. So you just start with little lines like this. They don't have to be perfectly even. Most streets don't crack perfectly center, so don't worry about that. And then from there, you can just get creative. You can add additional lines on the center line here. You can go off from these lines and add branches and anything else. Get a chalk color darker than whatever the pavement of the street is. Go with black or really deep gray. This will come out right. And you have a fairly decent example of what it looks like. This can also make for a lot of interesting fun around intersections. You'll have a whole bunch of crisscrossing little streaks going around the corners, intersections. Just beside. I mean, it's the best example of it is on this street here. It was a whole bunch of little chalk lines intersecting. It looks like almost like tracks running through the middle of the street. And the things are all black. Now we just kind of hold it about an inch or so above, and it'll start cooking basically really fast. Once you see it start turning white, you just start bending it. Now, sometimes I haven't had perfect ones where it'll break or something, but most of the time it'll come out looking for that. This also takes a little bit of practice. First couple I basically almost set on fire, so. CSU used to build, they had contests building bridges out of spindles. They actually test them to see how much weight they could take before they would break. Numbers didn't break. One. Yeah. Now also, if you're modeling in a modern era, you know, you don't want to, I mean, having all the buildings look like the normal little DPM buildings is nice, but, you know, not a lot of the buildings look like that anymore. Most people, they'll update the facades to make them look more modern, or who knows why. They just like dressing them up sometimes. And this is a prime example of it. This is a butchered DPM building. This is another one I pulled out of junk box parts. This is the Walther's hardwood furniture company. It's also got a little bit better. But it originally comes with these very large, huge windows on the outside. And a lot of times you have to basically think like a company would in like modern times. These large windows, you know, they're leaky, they're drafty, they're expensive to maintain. It'd be cheaper to just go with smaller windows. You don't need really big windows in a large factory. The roof on here, I made this out of a typewriter eraser tape. It's just like white tape. And you can get it as another story to that, or I think a couple of these buildings actually just used electrical tape. I pretty much used anything I could find. And ran it like rolled roofing up and down across the roof. And this is a little bit better, so they painted it's like a tin or a metal. And they're very good for like a base for all kinds of other trucks. I forgot to bring with me, but I have an ice cream truck version of this. It's just a hole cut in the side, and little pictures painted on it. This is my News Chaser 7 television news van. People. But normally I like the Prizer figures, but going $10 a set is kind of pushing it, so I normally buy them. They're generated, those look really nice. In fact, this TAMR headquarters sign was made off my computer. I'll also use newspaper ads. If anybody, you know, when you get the Sunday paper, you normally fill about 3 million circulars in there. Normally I have the company logo somewhere, and that's where I get a lot of the, I don't think I have any on this display, but I've gotten signs for drugstores and supermarkets, all kinds of stuff. You can even make I made a billboard. This is also going to be that, but these are made out of clippings I got out of the Sunday paper, and even going through when people are done with old magazines. Got some little tools of the trade here, some also shoestring budget ideas for tools. For instance, my glue bottles, I don't know, this may not apply for people who don't wear contacts, but still, I use little eyedropper bottles. I go through these to no end, so I figured I'm spending all this money buying this stuff, I might as well get a second use out of it. And cutting boards are taking old little linoleum tile squares. You're just sticking them back to back, and you got a nice little cutting board. I make containers out of 35mm film containers, Tic Tac boxes, these fancy car boxes that stuff comes in. Just by taking a step back, we can all see more in an item that would otherwise never be considered, you know, would never be connected to a layout. We can take an item that's inexpensive and turn it into something worthwhile, like one of these backroom buildings. You could turn this into, you know, a nice, impressive looking little model, a little work. And that's what my article's all about. Thank you for your time.
So you know that we're wrapping up another convention.
All I'd say is my throat is really dry.
It's possible. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
No, I'm not using last year's footage.
She is.
Okay, we're here on location. Rocky Mountain Post Convention.
Hike up a little ways to get a nice picture of it.
Look at this. This is where we are. This is the site.
I can see my house from here.
For a second,